and my other partner Danny. So, questions regarding the project?
Yeah, actually, I want just out of curiosity, how did you come up with the idea?
Well, it initially started with like we're obviously in the blockchain scene for quite some time, and there was always this this drive to create something out of or with the blockchain. And in June and late June, we, or at least my team members, came up with the idea to do something with charitable giving. And so the initial idea was to just be a currency to donate, but we took a good look and we talked to each other about the idea, and we were like, yeah, well, there are already so many kinds of donatable options in the cryptocurrency, like you can just donate with Stellar or whatever currency you want. So we're like, yeah, it's already existing, but it's not solving anything, because we're missing the transparency and the accountability for something that's being donated, and we think that we need a individual, like a decentralized application where it's being questioned and verified without any human emotion in it. So that's why we decided to make a platform to do that. So that's how we came up with the idea. We started talking with an American company that's specialized in building blockchain applications. And for like 4 weeks straight, we spoke every day, discussed about everything that what's possible and what's not possible. So yeah, eventually we came up with this idea, and we're hoping to make it very far in this scene.
How do you select the charity projects? Because I understand that you can technically track with all the possibilities you have with blockchain, that you can technically track where money is going and blah blah blah. But you still have to rely on what the charity project is telling you. I mean, it's nice if you see pictures of buildings being built, but that can be easily faked. So, is there any selection process?
Yeah,
are you behind the project like the devil behind the soul?
Yeah, obviously we need something like either employees or volunteers that can live close by or in the area to check up on these things.
Okay.
I mean, charities are right now functioning mostly off volunteers.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that we're trying to investigate in, and how we can facilitate these kind of things. I mean, we can check ourselves in Europe. That won't be a problem. We have our public relations manager is living in Nigeria, in the capital city of Nigeria, so he can travel around Africa. And we have the fifth member of our team is living in Croatia, so we can check the bottom areas of Europe. But yeah, that's a problem, I believe, with everything. I mean, we don't have mass adoption right now, and the ideal way to donate would be through Evimeria and just be Evimeria. Never convert to fiat. You could just buy Evimeria, or at least donate with Evimeria, and the charities can just buy something with Evimeria. But up to that point, we needed something to. I mean, donors could be donating Evimeria, but they are useless to the charities right now because there's no adoption. So that was one of the reasons why we decided to create an exchange to facilitate all the funding that's going to be needed for the platform to even work. The platform is going to cost us money. It's not generating anything. It's not non-profit. So yeah, until mass adoption finally arrives, we have to do it like this. It's not ideal, but there is no other way to do that.
Sorry if you said that in your interview. Because I didn't get it. How many projects are actually live on your platform, or how is the status right now?
The blockchain of the platform is still being developed.
Okay.
We started to reach out to some of the smaller charities to just keep them interested in our platform. Like, we can't guarantee right now, okay, you're going to be listed, you and you, because that's not our decision. I mean, it's a decentralized platform, so the platform will take care of the required information that they have to provide the platform. So we'll just be these kinds of guys that going to help them navigate through the platform and how to operate it and use it to the full potential. So we have right now even I believe we have two charities from Africa that are interested in us. We have a German charity called Hope for the Future who is really interested in us, and one from India, bring home children. So, and we just started like 2 or 3 weeks ago with getting the information out there, and obviously, well, once we go further, that's more more charities are going to be interested in us and potentially using us for a way to donate.
Are these charities willing to open their books for you to let every donator see where is the money going after the exchange from ephemeria to fiat, and then to the worker, to the warlord, to the house, whatever? So that's the gray area.
Yeah, it still is a gray area.
So if they are open their books and show you, the money is coming from A to B, that would you not promotion for the platform, but are they willing to share this information?
Well, obviously they have to keep their books open for the government. I mean, they have to tell their finances every year. Yeah, but that's really sketchy. But I mean, it is more like in a way where it's a kind of social engine where if they don't we are going to check up on them, or the platform is going to check up on them, and the platform will function in a way where if they're do not want to offer this kinds of information that's needed for a donor. I mean, a donor doesn't need to know all the financial information. I mean, there's some privacy there, but
Sure.
the like it shouldn't be the way that just like 10 or 20% of the total donation is being spent on the costs. I get that they're like 20 or 30% overhead costs. I mean, management has to be paid. There's even law in the Netherlands where it says that a manager from a charity is allowed to have a pretty decent salary.
Okay.
So, but yeah, that's also something that we're going to look at and how to fix it, because this project started literally 4 months ago, and we thought this out on the way.
Sure.
And it's still being, somewhat altered and changed, but not, the big changes, but minor changes as to if it's even possible to check it or something like that.
Okay.
What is the exchange? Is it like completely different name, different from this brand, or is it like connected?
It's somewhat connected. The EVI or EVI is in the names of the exchange, but the look and feel will be the same as the Evimeria. Evimeria is the brand name. So.
Because we were talking about like why we should use this exchange, and then I thought, okay, if you would like, they said like, okay, we donate 50% of it to our platform, then I would definitely use your exchange. So I would like take a closer connection.
Yeah.
Because I think the crypto people would also then, because okay, if I want to trade coins and I have the possibility of lower fees than Binance, or exactly the same, but you donate half of your income, so I definitely would use your exchange.
Yeah, we also will be talking about the charity of the month idea, where we donate ourselves to some legitimate charities, and the way that we want to build our exchange are we want to show two kinds of types of the exchange. One where an advanced user can use it the regular way like Binance, but we also want to have mass adoption. And how are you going to get mass adoption? You have to make it easier to even get cryptocurrencies. So we're trying to build an exchange based off of the rookie idea, where okay, I'll just put money on the platform or at the exchange, and I just want to buy Evimeria tokens. So it's just being 2 clicks, and they have it on their balance.
Yeah.
And then they're going to do whatever they want with it, without being the sketchy or weird trading views, and it's all this kinds of information that's too much for them. So we're trying to give them the opportunity to be able to buy this kind of stuff without the information that they don't even know what's it doing. So yeah, then like I said, the charity of the month idea, where we want to donate some of our profits to the charities that we like or the community likes.
I mean, I would communicate it like trade and help people or something like this. That would go really, really good.
Mhm.
I also
Yep.
wanted to embellish on the trade aspect. It seems like a secondary project. I don't know for you guys, but the market and exchanges is saturated. I have something like 12 different exchanges on my account. One that I only use for dead coins that somehow still move for no reason, and then other exchange that I use for the projects that I support. And it's I get the idea of exchange, but Binance has a charity program. Why don't you partner with the Binance charity platform and then basically tell Binance, hey, we have a charity of the month, and then instead focus on the charity aspect of EVI and just have campaigns. So in North America, we have kids that go around with boxes for UNICEF or World Vision or whatever. So instead of partnering with the big guys, you've already answered that, but do it with small charities around Europe and be like, hey guys, we're gonna accept Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum donations, transfer it to EVI, and then pay it back to these charities. So these charities now will be okay, we get coins, we get use, and that brings them into crypto because you didn't even talk to them, you just chose them, you just did your research, found a charity that you like, and hey, we're gonna get a school to do when they start doing the charity to accept Bitcoin, and we're gonna convert that Bitcoin into EVI and then just use it like that. If you do that, then you don't need to have another exchange, because another exchange you need to have KYC, you need to have all these regulations, you're gonna spend months doing what I don't know, Bitladen and all the other exchanges here or everywhere have already done, and you're not saturating the market, so.
Yeah, I understand your way of thinking, but I mean, we started with this prior to Binance opening up a charitable foundation, but the problem with that is Binance is controlling that, and we are offering a solution that's not being controllable by us. It's a totally standalone, decentralized application dealing with everything that's need to be dealt with without a human interference. And I believe the human interference is the problem we're having today, being corrupt, taking away money that's not for you. So it's a good thing that Binance is, taking the charitable giving aspect, but they're the same like every other charity token. They're just offering a solution to getting donations and then just move it somewhere. That's not, to me, that's not a solution.
So your unique selling point is we are the most trustless out there.
Yes, yes. Everything's being accounted for. And up to a point where we have massive adoption, without the fiat interference, we can provide the 100% trust. But up to a point, right now it's not. You need to convert it to fiat, and then it's in the hands of the charities. But we try to, control that as much as we possibly can, in a way where you check checkups, and we want to integrate some kind of level system. Whereas one charity, he's being approved on our platform, but they are being limited as to how many donations they're obtaining. Like if they were to be, faking everything and generating millions of dollars, that wouldn't be possible. We'll just start with a couple $100 or $1,000, so it wouldn't harm the donators that much, but it's still a human interference that we would like to be solved later on once we have mass adoption. But we still have to deal with it because ephemeria is not a valuable financing. You can't buy anything with it yet.
How do you try to establish this trust with the donator? How can he track the money? Is there a picture, but not in the blockchain, and look at the right side, the keys, blah blah blah, all technical stuff.
Yeah, we're building a simplified block explorer. So right now, the block explorers are just showing random numbers with whatever name of the number of the block, but we are trying to build a simplified block explorer where a regular user, which don't have any, prior knowledge of how it all is working or what it stands for, we're trying to build something like really simplified, where you know you can just click on the charity and you know, okay, that's these transactions are being sent to the donation or to the campaign. So we're trying to hit the new user to the cryptocurrency. So we want focus on that more than rather than the advanced users. I mean, they don't need any guidance from us.
Okay.
Sorry if you answered it in the video, but how do you get money from this? And what about transparency?
The only way we are making money out of this is from the exchange, because it's a centralized exchange. So the fees that are being obtained through the exchange are, profit for us in a way where, we can fund all the costs and pay ourselves our, the normal wage. And we want to, keep on developing, we want to create more things with the platform, with the exchange. So we are investing a lot in ourselves to develop more.
Me too. I'm sorry if I maybe missed it, but help me understand why it is that you are trying to cover your cost base through some side project or some second twin project instead of just taking a cut of all the donations or something. Even if you say, okay, we take a 1% cut out of everything, or even if you say we take a 30% cut out of everything, if you just, I would assume, that's my naive understanding, I would assume if you just compare that side by side to actual research, actual statistics about what is going on in charities nowadays, where sometimes 80% of the funds go missing or go wherever, lost in friction, you still have a huge advantage over those. Isn't it a bit of overkill to go to the almost 100% end?
Yeah, but if we were going to take a percentage of the donations, then the charities are getting less donations.
Yeah, of course, but they still get way more than they do right now, and at the same time it's much easier for you potentially to just operate the entire project.
I get the way how you think about that, but for us it is more of an immoral kind of thing. Like, we do not.
You're purists.
No, not purists, but we try to be. At least we don't think it's moral to take away a charitable donation and make money off a charitable donation.
Well, you can also say, well, whatever donation you have, there is an additional 5% charge or whatever on top of that, and then it's done.
Yeah, then that's
Then
a
you're a payment
negative
provider.
for a donor. I mean,
Yeah, sure, but it's much more beneficial than the other cases than any alternative still.
true, but it's still a way of how we think that's the best thing we think it is. We don't, like I said, we don't like to take money off being a charitable action, and I mean, that's, for us it's immoral, so that's why we try to at least have a secondary operation that's going to fund it through that, because we can't ask for donations ourselves, because we don't run an ICO. We think it's immoral to even run an ICO. So we're building everything from the ground up as we go, and that's just how we think it's the best way.
All right, so at this moment, let me please, cut it like this, because I actually have two more questions in this regard that I want to be answered, and we don't have that much time left over. So we have a guy here who's traveling the world, who's doing a lot of good with his name and Hi Diddy. Everyone will have seen him and know him, and he will have a speaker slot of his own. And I would like to ask Diddy, how are you doing, or how are you working with charities right now? Because you're doing some of that stuff of your own right now, right?
Yeah, so because we became this Bitcoin family label, whatever they call it, we make money with it. So I think at the moment it's about 40% everything we make we donate to charity. This is why when every area asks me to be an advisor, I'm like, okay, this is a little useful. I want blockchain and Bitcoin not to be about Lamborghinis and mooning. I want it to be about changing the world and helping people before positive. We all don't need Bitcoin. You know? People that need Bitcoin are the people that don't have money because they're not good at banks. And if you can help them through charity, and you know that the money really goes to this charity instead of this fancy CEO with this fancy Lamborghini and the second Lamborghini for his wife, I do support it. So now I'm supporting it directly. Last week we supported them, children and so we send them crypto, then we make posts, and then we hook other people, send them Ethereum, Bitcoin, every coins. And they are receiving a lot of donations at the moment, just by a few posts. So they called me 2 days ago, and I think they have like for 3 months of food already. It's like 14 children have 3 months of food just by donating a little profit from crypto. We made huge profit in crypto, so we need to share it. That's why we are in this business. It's freedom, it's not living.
All right, that's really cool. Thank you very much for that question. So I have another one. We have someone here from CryptoTax, yeah? Klaus, yeah? He has he had a speaker's slot already, so not everyone was here. But if you have problems with your moving crypto and you're living in Germany, maybe you want to speak with that guy again. So Klaus, can you please tell me what happens if I do a donation, and how this is like from the taxing side? What do I have to do, and what if I want to use crypto for donations? Is that any different from that, or what's the best use case for that?
So I think the most important question here is that, of course, if you're a donor, you want to have a tax deduction of your donation, right? And therefore, at least in Germany, it doesn't matter if you do it in euros or other fiat currency or whatever. But what's the important thing here is that the charity has to qualify under German law as a gemeinnützige, so it has to profit the Commonwealth, yeah, or it must be like a church or something. So there are these criteria set up in the German tax law, and of course it would be very beneficial if the charity is taking care of that and getting the official approval from the authorities that it is accepted as gemeinnützig, or I think that's the only thing which would be applicable to that.
Okay, but could
that's the so in order to have the tax deduction for the donor, the charity has to get active and get that certificate.
Okay, but could this thing, but because if I understand right, and you're working with projects worldwide, right? And no one will come to Germany, especially, and have their approval. Would he be able to get like this approval in advance from a German legislation party or whatever, where we get this approval, and then like stick to their guidelines to evaluate or qualify all the projects so that they are auto-approved?
Yeah, that's an interesting thought. So I think if you're working together with the big charities which are already in place now, I think they have it. So we talked about WWF, etc. So this ones are the international. I think they have the certificates in every country. But what would be a very nice thing, I could imagine if you have like a standardized form for the charities on your platform, and I don't know, sorry I didn't get it where you're located at, but for example, if you talk to the German authorities and get their stamp for the standardized procedure you have there, I think that would be very beneficial to everyone.
Yeah, I agree. That's something that we're working on to get done. All right. So Rudy, you have also 2 questions. Go ahead.
Yes, you have taken one of me, so one left. So I was just asking about what kind. Maybe I will ask it nevertheless. So because Didi was one of your ambassadors, you mentioned me. I mean, there's no secret that every married one is one of my favorite projects. I mean, you have maybe realized that it's doing into you. So what I want to emphasize is maybe what are your plans? Are you kind of any promotion, communication? So to get one step further, you know, you ever thought about making some TV ads? So you are working together with Didi. You mentioned you have also some other famous ambassadors.
Yeah, we have Jason Berlin, and Jason Berlin is a organizer from the Tour de Crypto in America. He's cycling, or he has been cycling for 45 days throughout all of America and getting donations out of all the cities to donate to Hoxie, and Hoxie is a charity for in Houston. They have a session in Houston, and they're for against violence for women, or against women's violence in households. So he's one of he reached out to us. We didn't reach out to him. He reached out to us on a voluntary basis, and he really liked the idea of Every Maria, and he wanted to help us in getting the word out and getting exposure. So we had a talk with him, and he was like, "Yeah, I want to do this," and we were like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" And so he drove with his car, or at least the team with the car behind him on a bike, and you know, that's another form of exposure, good exposure. So yeah, that's but for the future and marketing related stuff, I mean, you can do a lot of marketing, but right now it's probably not a good time to be doing marketing with the current state of cryptos.
I mean, nevertheless, I mean, even right now, it should be the best opportunity to show that there's even more than just, you know, I mentioned this when Lando, because these are projects that really have a use case, and what you need is a social proof, and then get a broadcast or get a kind of you know, a platform, so you need to be more visible. Yes, that's why
we're here.
We yeah, because I think it's really helpful to make yeah, this picture bigger. And yes, and remember we'll be here also at the open panel discussion. So if you have questions, because I know that we are running out of a little bit of time, but I like it that it shows that the people are interested. So they will be here the whole day, open also for the open panel discussion. So they will be also available for interviews. So yes.
So, okay, let me explain something about the open panel discussion right now. Yeah, we are holding this earlier today because some of the people will be ready to go to their flights, and we have this beautiful lady right there who will hand out some